Welcome back, guys, to the CFB Rundown. Today, I'm one of your hosts, JT Hill, and then we got Quinn Bewley over there. And today, we're just going to be breaking down all the CFP games from the first round, which we're really only going to break down two main ones. We'll break down two other ones, but they're not going to be as detailed. And yeah, let's just get right into it. This is probably the toughest one for me personally to pick. It's Alabama versus Oklahoma. And just right off the bat, these two teams, like whenever you just think about them, like they're the definition of an 8 and 9. In March Madness, that's the game where you're just like, I don't even know who to pick. I'm just gonna coin flip it. That's what it is at the end of the day. And this is such a tough one to pick for me personally. And both of their offenses have been struggling. I would say Oklahoma has been worse. Obviously, Alabama had that game against Georgia, and they just got completely creamed. But I think Oklahoma has had a little bit more of the struggles because they haven't scored a lot. John Mateer has not been the player that we thought he was going to be. I think it's because of that hand injury, if I'm not mistaken. But he just has not been the same. Ty Simpson hasn't been crazy, but this guy still threw for 26 touchdowns. 26 total touchdowns, and that's a ton. But their defenses are both like kind of insane. Like when I say insane, it's like crazy. Oklahoma just does not let people score on them. And the reason why they beat Alabama earlier in their year was because of the defense, and their defense played kind of insane. And let's remember that Oklahoma had to play at Alabama in that game. So for them to go to Alabama and win was kind of crazy. But yeah, so definitely some crazy games. They beat LSU 17-3. They beat Missouri 17-6. They beat Alabama 23-21. They just don't score a ton. And at the end of the day, if their defense can just hold them up, they have a chance to win the Natty. And because what's the saying? Defense wins championships. Their defense is legit. Now, I think Oklahoma has a great chance to win this game and potentially go beat Indiana if John Mateer can just be average. Because so far, in the second, maybe last 3 quarters of the season, 2 to 3 quarters, he has not been average. He's been below average, and that's what Oklahoma's going to need. Now, he did throw for, I think, 300 yards against LSU, but he threw 3 picks. So he's going to have to be smart with the ball, and if he's smart with the ball, I think that they can win this game. This is a great question. I don't need to go through any of the other Alabama wide receivers. I think the biggest X factor in this game, throwing it out there, is Ryan Williams. And the more and more that like he gets the ball less, the more and more that I'm like, dude, this guy's awesome, because I haven't heard anything from Ryan Williams on like social media, on radio shows, on like any of that stuff where he's not pulling an AJ Brown, and he's like 8 years younger than AJ Brown. He's not whining that he's not getting the ball. He's thanking God for the opportunity that he gets to play football, and I'm like, bro, that's a dog right there. I thought Ryan Williams was always overrated, but just that, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. But other than that, Ryan Williams still is a great player. Let me say this: if he can eliminate those drops, he's a top 5 wide receiver. But those drops definitely bump him down to top 15, maybe even top 20 receiver. This season, there's an argument for him to not even be there. But last season, he had a pretty good season, and he's got this, honestly. He is really good after the catch. And so I think that if they do some screen passes to him, I think that they could do something. And then obviously Jeremy Bernard, he has not been as crazy. That Georgia game, he did not do anything. And yeah, another thing is running the ball. Jam Miller is out. I feel like Alabama, I always see like Jam Miller. He's barely played for the late couple last weeks. Both teams can't really run the ball, but Yeah, Quinn, what do you got?
So yeah, like JT said, these teams are very similar, elite defenses. You could basically credit each of their seasons. Like their defense, Alabama's defense was the reason they won the Iron Bowl. Oklahoma's defense was the reason they won the Alabama game. And the offenses, they've had moments. Like think back to it's been a long time, but think back to week 2. Oklahoma just beat Michigan off, and John Mateer looks like a Heisman candidate, or basically anywhere pre John Mateer injury. Oklahoma's offense looked incredible. And then Alabama's offense, when they had that 4-game ranked win streak against Vandy, Georgia, Tennessee, I forget who the others were. Ty Simpson just looked like the best quarterback in football. I think he was the Heisman candidate trophy winner. Favorite. That's what I was looking for. Favorite. He was the Heisman Trophy favorite at the time, and they looked really good. But that hasn't been the case towards the end of the year, and it's looking like they peaked at the wrong time. But I've seen glimpses of what the offense can do. So for Oklahoma, one thing that I think could really fix their offense is getting John Mateer in the run game, because he got an injury on his throwing hand, so obviously you wouldn't expect the passing game to be all the way there, which it hasn't been. But pre John Mateer injury, he was a threat on the ground. He ran all over Michigan, but after his injury, he just really doesn't run the ball as effectively, and I don't know why, because he injured his hand, not his arm. So if they can get some design runs to Mateer early, not late in the game, but early, and set the tone with their run game, with their quarterback run game, because like JT said, they can't really run the ball. I think that's what needs to work. Now, just for Ty Simpson and Alabama, get the playmakers the ball. I completely forgot that Ryan Williams was a person that on Alabama until like a couple weeks ago, when I was like, oh yeah, wait, Ryan Williams is on Alabama. And okay. He hasn't really been doing much. Main things I see is, oh, he dropped a wide open pass. Oh, he dropped a touchdown. And before the season, I said he wasn't the best receiver on his team. It was Jeremy Bernard. And I think I've been right about that. Jeremy Bernard has been a better wide receiver than Ryan Williams, but I guess that isn't really true. Talent-wise, just pure talent alone, I think Ryan Williams is up there. Just he struggles with drops. If he could drop the ball, if he could catch the ball, not drop the ball, I think he could be one of the best receivers in college football. But just
Yeah.
he's super athletic. He's great after the catch. And I wonder if it's just a confidence thing, because he drops the ball. He's a young athlete, might get hard on himself. Maybe if they get him a couple of screen passes early on, because he's great after the catch, maybe a spin move, maybe he'll even break one loose. That'll build his confidence, and then eventually you can throw the deep ball, and then he'll start catching it. Maybe that's the click. Alabama does to get their tight end Josh Cuevas back, who is their third down safety valve. He has been very crucial for Alabama's offense as of late, and losing him, you saw in that Georgia game. Third down came, they couldn't really do anything. Now, this is just what I have to say. Whoever wins the turnover battle will win the game. And Alabama's offense, they actually had 400 total yards against Oklahoma's great defense last game, which is surprising because Oklahoma has a great defense. But Oklahoma had 3 turnovers. Not Oklahoma. They forced 3 turnovers. Alabama had 3 turnovers. I think Ty Simpson fumbled through a pick, and Ryan Williams fumbled on a punt return. Oklahoma's defense is great at forcing turnovers. Alabama turns the ball quite a lot. So whoever wins the turnover battle, you can just throw all the other stats out of the way. Yeah, they won the yardage edge by 200. Yeah, they had more first downs, plays. So just if you lose the turnover battle, none of that really matters. So my pick, Alabama, I predict that their offense will turn the corner, win this game, and look somewhat like the Alabama offense during their 4-game win streak. I don't know if this is going to happen. This is just my prediction, which would be shocking because Oklahoma has a great defense. I just think Alabama off after a loss usually fixes something, and they've done that throughout the season. I think they do it again. Maybe their offense will turn a corner. That's my prediction. JT, who do you have in this game?
I got Oklahoma 20-17 winning the game, and I think it's because John Mateer is just going to play that much better, barely better than Ty Simpson, but their defense is going to play better. And I think if Oklahoma can just be average, completely average, running the ball, passing the ball, their special teams can be average, and they just let their defense do the work. Dang, bro, these AirPods keep falling out. My hat keeps messing up with them. I think Oklahoma wins this game. And I could see it going either way, but currently I have Oklahoma.